Let's take our y equals e to the x and call this f of x. Because then we can sort of try and recall the general rules of transformations. So for my first transformation, I'm going to do forget about the y, I'm just going to do e to the x plus 3. So that would become f of x plus 3, which means I have a translation by minus 3 in the x direction. It's in the brackets, that means it's to do with x, and we do the opposite of the number here. I'm not going to go into any more details on why for this question, but there are other videos that I've made that go into a bit more detail on it. So we're not quite there. Now we need the final little bit. We need e to the 2x plus 3. And so that's going to mean I've got my function here, and I'm just going to replace x by 2x now. And that is a stretch in the x direction, because again, it's inside. But it's going to be a stretch by scale factor a half. It's, again, in the same sort of way when we have plus 3, we do minus 3 in the x direction. We're timesing by 2, so the stretch is a scale factor a half in the x direction. Parallel to the x-axis is another way of saying it. Okay, nice. Now, there are other options for their answer. I'd say this is the quickest one, but I'm just going to briefly talk about some of the other ones. So we could, because this is really important to get your head around actually, we could do the stretch first, in fact, stretch by scale factor a half in the x direction. But just be really careful when you then do the translation, because we would have to do a translation by minus 1.5 in the x direction because it's being times by 2. The x is being replaced by x plus 1.5. So yeah, that will just change the number slightly. And then possible third way would be to again do the stretch in the x direction by a scale factor a half, but now do a stretch by factor e to the 3 in the y direction. I'd say this is like the least likely one that you do, but it does work out. Because when you times these together, it gives 2e to the 2x plus 3. So 3 possible ways of doing this question.